welcome or welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today's video is just going to be a little preview type thing. I keep making sure my screen's on so I'm actually in frame, but if you watched my one of my last grocery hauls, it was of a sale that one of our local groceries was having. And the thing about, we're in October right now, so the thing about October, November, December, a lot of stores kind of start gearing up for the holidays, so they will offer significant savings. So if you keep that in mind, and they also do it around the summer when people start grilling out and all of that, but that's a whole other story. But if you kind of notice, there's little cycles, and if you can stock up whenever it's on sale, then use what you have stocked until the next sale, you're really saving money. I don't know of another word to say for that. But you never have to pay full price for it. That's the plan. So anyway, the only issue that could not be good about stocking up on sales and all of that is if you don't use the food before it gets expired, or you're not properly storing the food and then it just goes to waste, then you're basically just throwing your money away. So if you're anything like me, I'm sure that has happened to you many times, and I try to use it as a learning experience but avoid it if at all possible. So anyway, today's plan, I just want to kind of show you all how I do just very simple, stock my freezer, make the days, the weeks go by a little easier as far as meals and keeping us out of drive-thrus. That is kind of my goal. I want to be eating out as a treat, not because we have nothing planned and everything's falling apart. So I want to kind of start, I pulled out some stuff just to get everything kind of a little ready, but I want to go over everything and I'll just show you all how I do it. Basic plan, super easy, anybody can do it. Basic pen, pencil, that's my go-to. So with all of that, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and just follow along, and hopefully we can learn from each other on all of this. I want to try to just help people, especially right now. Getting close to the holidays is important as well, but it seems as though grocery prices are not going to be going down anytime soon. So if we can stock up when things are on the cheaper end and just keep a little bit of money in our pocket, I'm here for it. So hopefully y'all join along, and let's jump into it. I like to start with just a simple plan of things that I would like to get done. And the way I do these is, this of course is, I typically try to start with kind of like the easiest one. I bought the donuts on sale and I got a dozen for like $3. So I will freeze, get those frozen, and then I always flash freeze in a single layer, and then I will package them in just a gallon freezer Ziploc bag. I'll do that, and then you just pull them out the night before you're ready to eat them. They're good to go. On the potatoes, I have them over here, so I'll just swing over and show you those. I got a 10-pound bag for $3. So my plan is to do the twice baked potatoes, and I'm not sure what else, but at some point, just today, the project is just the twice baked potatoes. So we're doing this. And I also like to list out exactly what I need to do to the certain dish or item that I'm making. Wash the potatoes, dry them, bake at 400 times 1 hour, allow them to cool, assemble because we are doing the twice baked. Then we will flash freeze those in a single layer again, and the P stands for package. And I'll show you how I do the bags that I freeze those in. And then we're gonna do some mini muffins just because they are significantly cheaper and they're very quick to just grab and go. Quick morning breakfast, snack, whatever you need. And then I'll put here just basic bake at 375 for 10 to 12 minutes until toothpick clean, you know, that the basic baking for muffins kind of thing. And then taco meat, what we're doing is I have a little over a pound of hamburger meat, and I'm going to season all of it, and then I'm going to, on down here, I'll get to that in just a second, I'm going to allow that to cool and then put it in a freezer bag, have it frozen ready to go. But down here, I'll skip that one for just a second. On the quesadillas, I'm not sure how much of those we'll actually eat, but I wanted to try a couple just for a quick lunch or snack or whatever, maybe a meal, I'm not sure. But I'm going to use some of this taco meat to make maybe 4 of these, just to kind of see how they go. But that's why I have that one a little down here, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to do here, but I'm going to do a couple. So the sausage balls were also, I just list here, assemble them, freeze in a single layer, and then I package. And I try to put them in order as to how I'm going to do them. I like to, even though this one is listed second, the degrees are hotter. I hope this makes sense. I definitely overanalyze and over schedule, or I don't know, organize something. That's all in my head, so it's a very scary place. But anyway, I hope this makes sense what I'm going to say. I put the degrees on here, but I like to start with the whatever I'm cooking that has the lowest temperature first, and bake it first and then increase the oven temperature. I hope that makes sense. Because it makes everything kind of go a little easier. So just let me run down this. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and do the donuts because they're already made. Just get them laid out on the pan. And then the potatoes, I'll wash them and then I'll put them over in the sink to dry. Meanwhile, the oven's preheating, and I'll start mixing the muffins. And whenever it finally, gets ready, then I'll go ahead and put those in. And I will go ahead and start browning the taco meat. And while it's browning, I will start mixing up the sausage balls. And then I will, by that time, the muffins should be about done. And the potatoes will be dry, so I'll have them ready to bake at 400 degrees once I take the muffins out and turn the temperature up. So then that'll be in there, and then by that time, hopefully the taco meat will be done, and then I can take out what I need for the quesadillas, assemble those, and then the sausage balls will already be in the freezer, and then all I have to do is take those out and package. So I hope all of that kind of makes sense. That's how I kind of structure it, so I know I'm just focused on these. So I always write it down. That way it just helps keep me organized. So on the freezer bags, what I like to do is I'll put the date that I'm actually bagging them, and whatever, just a little description. Even though you can kind of see it, it helps when I'm doing this, so I can just grab the bag and I know which one it needs to go into, because I'll put the reheating or heating, whichever the case may be, instructions here, like if you want to use the oven, what degree, how long, the microwave, what or how many minutes, that kind of thing. And then I'll also do, again, just the twice baked potatoes, and then for 50 to 15 to 20 minutes. Sausage balls, same thing. So y'all get the idea. So with all of that, we are going to, I also have my cream cheese because I need that for the potatoes, and it needs to be softened. So if I have anything like that I'm using, I set it out, whether it be butter, cheese, whatever, that kind of thing. I will set it out before I even get started. I like to bring it to room temperature, and then if I have to kind of stick it in the microwave, kind of speed that up a little bit, it's a little more ready. I don't know if that makes sense, but we're gonna get the cheese ready. But anyway, I have the pan, and I always freeze whenever I'm talking about the flash freezing of things. If I don't have which I don't have one right here. I have one pan that has a silicone mat, so if I use that, then I don't line it with the parchment paper. But the majority of my pans I have to line with parchment paper, so I just use, is that even right side up? Okay, just the nonstick parchment paper, stick it in the freezer, and then everything freezes. Do it for about an hour to 2 hours depending, because the idea is that they won't stick to each other. So that way, whenever you want to grab one or two or whatever, you're not grabbing out a big clump. So, also, let me back up. So, have a little grace with me on this video, because this is the first one I think that I've done of the freezer cooking, but I wanted to share it with you just to kind of show you how I go through things. But once you get your food done, it's important to let it kind of come, and this stands true for any kind of leftovers, and I've read this over and over and over, so you can definitely research this for yourself. But whenever you are going straight from the oven, hot, whatever, it needs to kind of cool down to room temperature, at room temperature, to decrease the moisture and all that other stuff. I don't want to get into all that, but it's best to let it cool down to kind of room temperature before you put it in the freezer, because just trust me on that one. Just let it come to room temp and then put everything away, or in the freezer or in the refrigerator to store for leftovers. Either way, just trust me. Let's go. The main reason I do this is because my mom did and my granny does, and but I think the actual reasoning behind it is apparently you can build up pressure inside the potato under the peel and basically have a potato explosion. So have I ever had one explode? No, but I'll do that just in case. It's kind of one of those things. You just do it because your mom did it and your granny did it, and And I wish I had a brush right now, but I don't, and I'm not 100% sure that I have any gloves, and I just really don't want to get my hands like super greasy. So this is just vegetable oil. You can use olive oil, whatever kind of cooking oil you prefer. And the idea, well, some of it will go into the potato. I'm actually just going to roll it around right here. And that is our muffins. So our time is actually going pretty good, and I'm trying to kind of clean up a little as I go. I wish I had sea salt, but I don't. I just have this, so we're going to be super fancy with table salt. And just salt them, and then I like to kind of turn them and just salt the whole thing. Like, again, if you had sea salt, it would be so much better, but table salt beats nothing. So that's what we're using. And like I said before, I don't have a whole lot of room in my freezer, or I would do more of these, but here we are. So I'm gonna scoot these over while they're rolling all over the place, and we'll pull out the muffins and see how they are looking. Okay, they're still white on the top. So what we're gonna do is go back to the meat and let's check on it. And here's where we are on it. Just trying to, the goal is just to fill our freezer, get as much done as possible, but we're not going to get like super stressed out about it. If I don't get everything done, that's fine, because what little bit that we do get done is more than we had done before we started. So, and it takes a long time to be okay with that and struggle with it absolutely all the time, but here we are, learning every day, just trying to be a better version of ourselves than we were yesterday, I guess. That's the plan. So let me get this kind of scrambled up a little. And I haven't started on the sausage balls just yet, but I may go ahead and get that started too. I'm going to show you all. The muffins have actually been in here about 12 minutes, and I don't know if you can see without it getting all steamy, but they're still white on top, so I want to get them a little darker, but we're just kind of at a standstill right now. So I think I'm going to, sorry if that was a lot of spinning, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the stuff for the sausage balls while we're waiting on all this other stuff to get ready. So I just checked our muffins with a toothpick, so always do that if it kind of seems like they were taking a little longer, but they are super springy to the touch. Do you see? I don't know if that's actually showing up, but it's kind of bouncing right back. So we're going to call that done, and we are going to, the oven is actually still at 375, but let me scoot that one over a smidge. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stick it in there, and then turn it up. And what we're going to do is whenever it gets preheated to 400, then I'll start it at an hour. So check the meat. Taco meat, we're still doing good, and I've got the taco seasoning actually right here next to me, so we can have that ready in just a second. And I'm actually going to use this pan to do the quesadillas in. So while the hamburger meat is finishing, I'm going to go ahead and get this burner warming, and I'm gonna have to do some finagling somehow, because I need this pan, which is still hot. So I think I'm gonna have to, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to do something, because I need this pan to put my sausage balls on. Oh, I don't know. So another thing is whenever you start this whole batch freezer cooking, make sure you have enough pans. Our oven just preheated, beeped, whatever you want to say, got to the temperature we were needing it to. So I just set the timer for an hour, and I've got to share this just mind-blowing thing I just realized. I've watched like I don't know how many videos, and I saw one out of 30 years that I've watched YouTube, or 20, however long YouTube's been out, and I saw one woman that, and I wish I could remember who it was so I could actually give them credit for this, that wadded her wax paper, freezer paper, whatever it was that she was using, and I couldn't understand why until now, because in the donut part, I was having such a hard time getting the wax paper to stay down, but you just wad it up a little ball like that, straighten it back out, and done. And that has absolutely just blown my mind. So I had to share that with you all because I've got to lose these rings because they will not be good in a sausage ball. So definitely try this if you have not. Jammerel Stewart, however you say her name. Absolutely, that's who that was. I remember now. That was her. Because she was doing, oh, I think it was one of her like super old ones, because I've watched her for years and years because she is amazing. But that's who it was that I seen do that. Yeah. Now if there was some kind of hack for getting this open, that would be that much better. Are you kidding me? I really need this to go a little smoother because I need to go put the taco seasoning. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna, see, I got all excited over the wax paper situation, and now I can't get the cream cheese open. Oh, there we go. Goodness gracious. See, that's the story of my life. I make things just a little more difficult than they have to be. And here we are. So this sausage ball recipe, I'm sure everybody at some point has either made them or tried them, but this is getting all over me. But there we go. This is actually made with sweet cornbread mix, and I'm going to toss this in the microwave for just a second because it is still not super soft, but I'll be right back. Okay, so anyway. Okay, so another thing, if you don't have one of these, not a big deal. Everything gets a mess, so just go ahead and plan on using your hands because that usually works better. But I do have that just in case. I'm piling all my stuff. I meant to have like a little garbage bag over here, but I do not. I turned, let me go grab some scissors. Okay. I turned the hamburger meat down just a smidge because, so I could do this and go ahead and get it kind of situated. And we're going to attempt to do this a little bit with a spoon just before I completely stick my hands in it. So, and the recipe, all of these recipes, by the way, I lost my word. I will put in the description box if you all want to try these, because they are super easy, come together really quick, and I feel really good about the list, lineup, whatever you want to say, that I have, because everything's worked out. This recipe actually calls for like a cup and a half, and this is 2 cups, so we'll probably just go with it. But here comes the, I don't know if fun part's going to be the word, but it is what it is. We've got to mix that up because otherwise you'll have one ball with a ton of sausage and another one just with a ton of cornbread. So You can also use, I've used Bisquick mix too, but I wanted to try this one because I really like Jiffy cornbread. It's more of a sweet cornbread, and it depends, I guess, on what it is that I'm eating it with. I don't like it with soup beans. I like actual good old-fashioned cornbread, but I do like Jiffy, like if I'm just making it kind of like on the side kind of thing. Okay, and now we're here. So let me make sure you all can see. You see the pan? Okay. And what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna add can you see like the consistency? Everything's just kind of like all wadded together. So there we are. And I'm not going to bake these before I put them in the freezer. I'm going to flash freeze them and then put them in a bag and use them that way. You can bake them and then just reheat them, but the oven is occupied with potatoes. So we're just going to do them this way and then put them in the freezer raw. So you can do that. I'm actually doing a pretty good job with this spoon. Pretty excited about it. But, okay. Let's go ahead. I'm actually just gonna get this open so it's ready. Y'all can probably hear the puppy. Bless her heart. I think she's afraid of the dark, and it's starting to get a little dark, so I need to go. I've got her like tied out in the yard so she can run and do all of that stuff. But when it gets dark, she's ready to go to her bedroom. And you can literally say, it's actually her house, but you can just say it's time to go to bed, and she'll walk right in there on her own and turn around about 3 times and lay down, and she's good to go. So, okay. So I'm going to use this paper towel just to lay the spoon on, and I may use this instead of this little cookie scoop thing because it seems to be mixing around quite well. But I think I'm going to use that to measure them out. Okay. So I'm going to attempt to maybe keep one hand clean to grab the bag of cheese. So will that work? Who knows? But we're going to mix this up, and it never fails, no matter what kind of cooking utensils that you have. The hands usually mix it better than, so I don't know if you can see. Let me kind of show you. Everything's kind of a lot more mixed, and it smells, the sausage I had was mild, so you could also use like the hot or spicy, or I think there's some other like garlic, maybe something like that, flavored sausages. But I had this on hand because I had made some sausage gravy. So I only ended up using a pound out of the 2-pound roll. So I had to use the other pound for something. And again, it kind of, I'm trying my best to not waste things. So, okay, let me see how this is going to work. And the cheese is just going to be everywhere, apparently. There's, hopefully it just doesn't end up all over the floor. But here we are. This is like cooking with kids. You just hope for the best and have a good time. But it is very cheesy. So you can definitely add whatever kind of cheese. And you can also use whatever cheese that you prefer. I had Colby Jack in the fridge, so that's what we used. And I'm trying to be more intentional about using up what I have to kind of throw together and make something not new entirely, but that we don't have all the time. That way it's kind of like a, I don't want to say a little treat because that kind of sounds goofy, but it kind of is. So I guess it's not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too hard on myself. Like I'm sure most of us are. But we are our own toughest critic, I'm sure. But, okay. This would actually, like, let me show you. If, I don't know how much, I think I may have moved out of frame. Sorry, guys. But here is what our dough is looking like. Everything's kind of incorporated. You can tell here, let's see. Got a little, just kind of crumble it up and stick it there. And I want to kind of make all of them roughly about an inch. So that's my plan. That's why I like to use this sometimes, just because it keeps everything the same size roughly. But maybe we'll try the spoon because everybody may not have that. And it's definitely not a necessity. We're just going to do this because it's going to work out. And we're not going for pretty. We're going for done. So there we go. And these are super sticky. So once you have baked them, I like to dip mine in ranch. But you could use mustard or any kind of dipping sauce, like buffalo would probably be good too, come to think of it. But any kind of dipping sauce that you like. And you could sprinkle them with, you can tell I'm not the fancy cook. I'm just like, hey, let's eat this and go with it. But like parsley over it, that would be cute. Like if you wanted to do for like Thanksgiving, you know, the little hors d'oeuvres table. I'm actually not sure that this pan is going to be big enough. I don't know, I may have to get another pan. I'm not sure. But I'm going to kind of stop talking now and speed this up a little. So, and whenever, well, let me tell you this first. Whenever you're going through and grabbing your mixture to make your balls out of, if you notice that some of the stuff's not incorporated as well, just give it another smush and keep smushing. And this is very forgiving, guys, so definitely try it out. But now we're gonna speed this up and I'll see you in a second. So I'm going to use, I keep trying to check the temperature because I don't want it to get like too hot and like scorch it, but I need the cheese to melt kind of quick like. Let me check. The potatoes are still doing their thing. We are making some super good time if we were attempting to do that, but just going at kind of a, not rushing, just scooting along. You can see here the cheese is starting to melt, so I'm going to go ahead and spread the meat kind of, I don't know, I'm just kind of eyeballing this, so I'm not sure. Maybe a couple of tablespoons, I guess. I don't know, I'm not real good at that. Sorry guys. But I don't think I'm gonna have very much left over to save, so we'll probably just use all of the meat for these, I think. And I'm not gonna go all the way to the edge, but I'm kind of just to where you can't see through. Does that make sense? Maybe. And then we're gonna do that, and then my plan, maybe I'm gonna put another layer of cheese. Yeah. So we're gonna do that, and hopefully it'll kind of help sandwich it together. I don't know. We're just kind of learning as we go on this one. Because usually I just kind of eat them right away, and you don't have to worry about prepping it for the next time. But I'm not eating this right now, so whenever this cheese gets melted, I'll put another tortilla on top, and then ideally we'll be able to flip it so we can toast the other side. And I'm only gonna do like 2 sets of these and then cut them into quarters, so that way they'll just be kind of like easy to grab and go. I don't know, we'll see. I think we're going to try this one a little different and see if maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll go better in half instead, because I got lucky whenever I flipped it, but getting it over to the plate was tricky. So we're going to try this instead and do it just in half. I think that'll work out a lot better.